Hi, this is Dakarazu. In this video, we're going to do a data sufficiency questions. We ask, what is the value of the absolute value of n? Now be very careful. We're not asking here the value of n. It's the absolute value of n. It's very important. I emphasize that because people are not always careful and they don't always answer the question that is being asked. Okay? Having said that, let's go to number one. Number one, we are given that n squared equals 9. This means, as you know, n equals 3 or n equals negative 3. Okay? Now, we know that the absolute value of 3 is 3. But also, the absolute value of negative 3 is also 3. It looks like we have a unique value of the absolute value. We have two possible values of n, 3 and negative 3. But regardless of the value of n, the absolute value of n is going to be 3, as you can see. So we have here sufficient information to answer the question. Okay? So I'm just going to put sufficient. Okay. So as you know, the answer can only be A or D. Okay? I can write it here if you want, if it helps you. Let me write it down more clearly. A, B, C, D, and E. And I'm sure you know what they mean, all these letters, what kind of answer they correspond to. Okay? I will not do that for you. I assume that you know that. Number two. Statement number two. We're given that n is equal to the negative absolute value of n. As you know, the absolute value of n is a distance. So it's always greater or equal to 0. If you don't know that, go back to our videos on absolute value. We have actually a video dedicated to the definition of the absolute value. Okay? So I'm sure you know that the absolute value of n is a non-negative number. As a result of that, we just start right there. N being equal to negative absolute value of n, you have n has to be less or equal to 0. Again, absolute value of n is greater or equal to 0. So the negative of that has to be less or equal to 0. N can be a negative number, but n can also be 0. But no matter what n is, we don't know the actual value of n. There is no way of knowing the actual value of n, which must be a unique value. Okay? Because of that, 2 is not sufficient. That's right, it's not sufficient. Okay? As a result of that, the correct answer is A. Remember, number 1 was enough. So the correct answer in data sufficiency terms is A. Okay? So that wasn't a very difficult question. You just have to be wary of what is being asked. Okay? Because if you had made the mistake of finding the value of n, trying to find that, you realize that number 1 will not be enough, number 2 will not be enough, and the correct answer then would be C. Okay? So be careful about that. Thank you very much. Dakarazu here.